All right, it's Chris Pre with another Deal Structure Sunday. I want to bring in a couple different people here. We're going to first bring in certified coach Stephen Mernick to join us from the lovely state of Connecticut. Stephen's been on past Deal Structure for his own deals, but this happens to be one of his own students. Steve, welcome back. The veteran, Mr. Mernick.
Thank you, sir. Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, and let's bring on Kevin and Sarah Gannon, also from Connecticut. Hey guys, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Awesome. So here's what's interesting before we dive into this deal structure. I always like to throw some different things out. We're all three from Connecticut. And so many times people say, well, so-and-so is like within an hour of me and they're afraid of losing business. And man, oh man, prosperity mindset says there's plenty of deals. I don't think the three of us have run into each other, maybe a little bit, but it's not a big deal. There's plenty of business out there. So that's just a side note I wanted to bring up. So Kevin and Sarah, first, congrats. This is deal number 3, I believe.
Our third goal.
Sweet. I love it. Let's do this. First of all, for the little backdrop and a little context, you had some mortgage experience, but no creative real estate and terms experience prior to Smart Real Estate Coach. Is that correct?
Correct. We'd had some residential ownership as landlords, but very straightforward, 30-year fixed kind of experience.
Yep. Cool. Okay. And then you've been with Smart Real Estate Coach for how long now?
A year, 2 years. I mean, you started in 20.
We started just before QLS, April 20.
April 20.
Okay, so a little over a year, going on a year and a half-ish.
Business scaling, sorry.
Close enough. Going on a year and a half to 2 years. All right, let's dive into this. This is a sandwich, if I remember.
Yes.
What was the source of this one? How'd you get it?
This was My Plus leads.
Okay, My Plus, and then what category in My Plus?
Expired.
Okay. Expired listing. We're going to do more in the deal structure over time as far as details on that, but I'm curious if you know how long it was on the market, with the realtor before you guys found it as an expired.
At the time, their renter they were renting it, and the renter had left. So when they got our call, it was just out there that day. We got it right away. I go back 1 week. I always pull a week before. And this was Monday, right? And we were out in California. We were able to talk to people on the East Coast from there before anything was happening out there. So
I love it. And do you know how long they sat with the realtor and we can dive deeper later. I'm just curious for surface level, how long
at least
it was
90
on?
days. It was at least 90, if not 120 days.
Okay. Cool. I say that, Kevin and Sarah and Steve, just for the viewers to know, why still get asked to this day? Well, if it didn't sell in the open market, why are you guys buying it? It's so crazy that people understand with the terms world, because this is sold, we're going to show. It's just a different market entirely. And so I love it when we have expireds. All right, so you structured how long of a term with these guys?
36 months with the seller.
36 months with the seller. And let's go over some numbers here. The debt number, meaning the underlying debt, and is there any equity going to them?
The underlying debt was $263,437.
Okay, and are they getting any equity on top of that?
The equity was $71,563.
Okay, that comes to what total?
$335.
$335. Again, I don't want to be assumptive. As a reminder for the viewers, or if you're brand new, a first timer, when we're talking sandwich leases, we only use price, i.e. $335, to determine what the equity is out for the seller. Where all our agreements, to be specific in section 13 of our agreements, it says the purchase price is going to be the payoff of the underlying debt, which right now is $263, but it'll be less when Kevin and Sarah are done. And then we do lock in the $71,563. How much was this house on when it was on the market?
$335. That was
same exact price.
Right.
Okay. So they're doing much better than if they sold with a realtor, clearly. And we have nothing against realtors. I was one for 18 years, just a disclosure there. I'm just saying they are doing much better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
And what did we sell it for?
The sale price was $359.
$359. Okay. This maybe came up in the past, Steve. I'd like your opinion on this, but I'm thinking right off the bat that with some lessons here learned, and we'll talk about this in the deal structure overtime, probably could have went a little tighter in price and a little more on the sell. Is that what you guys think, or in hindsight, or no?
Well, we originally listed it, we put it out at 369.
Okay.
So again, so when we originally put it out, it was 369 with a rental amount of 2350. One of the things, for instance, at QLS is having a planned succession of pricing in order to keep the traffic coming through, which is what we did. So again, after 30, we bumped it the rental amount down, and after 60, we bumped it once again, and that brought back someone who was a looky-loo at the first cut.
Cool.
And was a buyer at the second cut.
Cool. Got it. Good context. Stephen Mernick, anything before I transition to the buyer side that you want to bring up prior to deal structure overtime? And I guess let's start with this. What involvement, you're the coach, what involvement did you guys have together so far at the beginning of this deal?
Yeah. So first, looking at that deal too, before I answer that question, because you had mentioned they're going to be doing much better than what they could have been doing with a realtor. That realtor, I believe, I think it was like a 6% realtor. So they're making the actual seller or saving them, however you want to look at it. It's like $21,000 more. Netting in this way. And is it worth going 24 to 36 months for another 18, 21 grand? I would think so, right?
Yep.
Yeah, when it comes to this specific deal, Sarah and Kevin, they took the reins mostly on this one because the first couple deals they did were actually really, really complicated, which we spent a lot with, and they learned so much that Sarah and Kevin right now, outside of just like looking at agreements, going over numbers, just making sure everything aligns, they're dialed in right now. So it was more or less a checklist thing together, but I can't take much credit on this one. They sculpted a really good deal on this one from the prior experiences we've had together.
I love it. All right, so let's now talk about a couple things. How long did it take for you to find the buyer, first of all, from the time you put it under contract to buyer, roughly?
Initial contact, it was 50 days, getting them closed 80.
50 to 80 days, soup to nuts.
Right.
Okay. I always say to my sellers, for the viewers to know, when they ask me how long it takes, I say 5 days to 120 days. We've sold them in one weekend, and we've sold them in 4 months. So, okay. How much deposit did we get? And what I want an answer on this one is upfront, then over time, and then did we capture the first month's rent or did we not? So go ahead with the payday one.
The initial deposit was $12,565.
That was at signing?
That was 1,000 good faith and $11,565 at signing.
Okay, so we did the buyer meeting, we did the signing. We don't call it, it's a closing, but it's more a signing. So we got $12,565. And what's structured over time for their down payment? And then I'll explain for the viewers.
Well, in this instance, the buyer was someone who was quite confident. And so what he wanted to do is we put the balance of the down payment in equal monthly installments over 18 months. So this is developing to be $1,296 monthly for 18 months. That's going to bring them up fully to 10%.
So 18 times $1,296 is how much? Just so I can put this in my brain.
23,335.
23,335.
Right.
23,335.
Okay, so total there is what? 30 something grand?
36.
Yeah, no, we're coming in at 359. At 35.9.
35.9, exactly the 10. Okay, a couple things I want to say there, and if Steve or Kevin, you have comments. First of all, a technique we use for the viewers to know is real simple. When they had their buyer letter of intent meeting, their buyer meeting, they worked out, in this case, 18 equal installments, which is pretty cool. Sometimes it's yearly with tax refunds. Sometimes it's retroactive raises or pay. Whatever works for that particular buyer to put them in a better spot, i.e. 10% down when they get their final loan is going to be stronger. And it helps you as the investor, in this case, Kevin and Sarah, because the cash flow is phenomenal. And the buyer gets more and more vested in the home as that process goes on. Your likelihood of a default goes way, way down. Everything we do is to get them to the finish line. Any comments on that buyer, guys, as far as what I just said?
Just in as much that, again, since we brought the rental amount down, they had a better view as to how they could handle the monthly nut. So in essence, this brought them in within the rent and the down payment brought them in within 15%, 10-15% of what their eventual mortgage is going to be.
Nice.
So the combination of bringing them in, this was their choice to do it on the monthly. Love it from a cash flow standpoint.
Yeah, no, it's sweet on both. It's a win-win, and that's how all of them should be. Why did this buyer choose rent to own? This is a good one for the viewers to know.
They are in the midst. They were inking this deal while they were inking their divorce. So he has custody. He wants a nice place in Shelton for his kids, and this is a nice place.
It is a nice place.
It worked out. He's going from a significantly larger home in a ritzier town to a nice house in a nice town.
So he gets the house and the kids.
Pardon?
He gets this house and the kids, I take it.
Right.
All right.
And apparently a little peace of mind.
All right, good. Did we pick up the first month's rent on this deal or no? The way we have to pay out?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yes.
how much is that?
$19.50.
So we got $35,900 plus $19.50.
Right.
Okay, cool. If you're new to this concept, our agreements are pre-written. We don't always pull it off, but 8 or 9 out of 10 we do. And that is our agreements are written that their payment of the underlying debt of $263 starts 30 days after occupancy. So that first month goes in their pocket and it goes towards payday one. So payday one just grew from $35,900 to $37, whatever that comes to, 8.
Hey, Chris, too, real quick for the viewers, and it's good to know here. As you see here, there's a rent payment coming in at $19.50, and then the additional $12.96 is their down payment monthly as well. Just so you guys know, and it's important to know this for sourcing for the underwriters in the future, that $12.96 down payment will be a separate check. It cannot be combined with the monthly check. It's very important when it comes to them getting a mortgage and us being able to source that $12.96 a month as a down payment. It just makes it so the underwriters are very clear on what it is, and there's not like a mix between, hey, how much of it is rental, how much of it is down payment. That's why we separate them.
Cool, very good. Monthly payment outgo on this $263,000 is how much?
The out is $1,683.
Is that PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so you got a spread there of how much?
All right, now I forgot to mention we were also picking up property tax as well. So the monthly from the buyer is $22.26. So we're also picking up $404 in taxes.
Are the taxes included in the $1,683?
Yes.
They are.
So the difference, the monthly that are out is $1,683, our in is $22.26. The difference is $543.
Ooh, better. Okay. What's that, over 36 months, or what did you give the term to the buyer?
Well, again, the buyer in this instance wanted only 12 months. Told him we couldn't do it, said it had to be at least 18. We agreed to that. So it's an 18-month lease. So that comes to, for the rent differential, $9,774.
$9,774. Again, just a point of interest for the viewers. Kevin and Sarah have a pivot point at 18 months. If the gentleman's not ready, they can extend it. They get 36 months here. It's a totally safe deal for them. And if by chance the gentleman had another life event, it would be rare if he just went through a divorce to have another life event, but if he did, they have time to resell this conventionally or maybe even a rent home with 18 months left. So pretty cool situation you're in. So payday number 2, we got 97, almost 10 grand. Let's pivot down to payday 3 before we go to deal structure overtime. We marked the home up. What does that come to? 24 grand?
24,000.
24,000. Principal pay down on this underlying 1683 is how much?
Is $12,006 at 18 months.
$12,006. So that's only how much a month? Like $400 or so?
Well, it's 18 months, so it comes to like $667.
So, okay, cool. That's a good principal pay down too on this little deal.
Yeah, it's just that, again, if he extends beyond 18, that obviously increases.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's a good point. If it extends beyond 18, you're back in the driver's seat, right? You could be super nice and keep it the same, or you could say, we got to change things here. Okay, so if we take the down payment back out at closing, now picture if you're a viewer, we're closing this deal out now. It's at the closing table. We are not crediting this $19.50. That went in their pocket. That was just a rent payment that they did not have an outgo on. But we are going to credit them their $35,900 they paid, presume they pay it. They just started this deal. It's under agreement. What's the cash out payday 3 here?
Well, the cash out is $106.
Because we got most of it up front.
Yeah, no, again, the cash flow is so good that, okay, fine. So at the table, there's very little.
Okay, but that's not this is interesting for the viewers to know. You got 3 paydays, and most of it came up front in this term, and
Right.
over time. I love it. So what's the total here? So I don't have to rack my brain. 45-ish.
45,780.
45,780. All 3 paydays. Cool deal.
Plus first month's rent.
Oh yeah, you guys. Okay, plus 1950. So we're at like 47, 48 grand.
Yep.
48K.
18 months.
All right. Kevin and Sarah, and that's 18 months. I wouldn't have my foot on his back because you got plenty of time. Let him have some wiggle room with his kids and chill out. And then if you have to push that out further, you push it out further.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and head over to deal structure overtime, and we'll go ahead and dive into a little bit more of the nuances for a few minutes so you guys can see kind of behind the scenes what else happened in this deal.